What if the silence you're hearing right now is not rejection, but preparation? What if heaven is quiet, not because God has turned away, but because He is working deeper than you can see? If you're listening to this with a tired heart, wondering why you keep praying and nothing seems to change, let me say this gently. You are not ignored. You are not forgotten. And you are not weak for asking God the same question again and again. You've been faithful. You've waited. You've believed, and still the door hasn't opened. That kind of waiting can hurt in ways words can't explain. You've cried prayers you never told anyone about. You've whispered God's name in the middle of the night, hoping this time He would answer. You've tried to stay strong, but the silence feels heavy, almost personal. And sometimes, if we're honest, it feels like everyone else's prayers are being answered, except yours. But listen closely. God sees the ache behind your faith. He sees the tears you wiped away before anyone noticed. He sees how you still show up to pray, even when your heart feels discouraged. That kind of faith matters to Him. Here's the truth most people don't tell you. God's delays are never random, and His silence is never empty. Often, when God doesn't answer right away, it's because the prayer you're asking for is connected to a deeper work He is doing within you. Not to punish you, not to test you for sport, but to prepare you for what your current version cannot yet carry. Scripture says in Ecclesiastes 3:11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not your time, His time. Right now it may feel like time is working against you, but in the spiritual realm, time is often God's tool. He uses waiting to align hearts, reshape motives, and strengthen foundations. Let me say this slowly. God is not withholding. God is refining. Psalm 37:4 says, Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. That verse doesn't mean God simply grants every wish. It means He reshapes your desires as you draw closer to Him. Think of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. But He ended with, Yet not my will, but yours be done. The Father didn't remove the cup, but He strengthened the Son to carry it. And through that obedience came salvation. Sometimes God doesn't change the situation because He is changing the heart that will step into it. Revelation 2, God is protecting you from an answer that would harm you. There are prayers God doesn't answer because He sees what you cannot. Proverbs 16:9 says, In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. What you're asking for might look like relief, but God sees the cost attached to it. Israel begged for a king in the book of Samuel. God warned them it would bring pain. They insisted anyway, and the king they received brought division and sorrow. What felt like a blessing became a burden. Some delays are divine protection. Some closed doors are mercy in disguise. Revelation 3, God is building endurance before releasing breakthrough. Romans 5:3-4 reminds us, suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. Waiting is not wasted time in God's economy. It's training. Joseph dreamed of leadership, but first he walked through betrayal, slavery, and prison. If God had answered Joseph's dream immediately, it would have crushed him. The delay prepared him to stand strong when the dream finally arrived. And the same is true for you. If God answered your prayer too early, it might break you instead of bless you. So if you're wondering why heaven feels quiet, understand this. God is not absent in the silence. He is present in the process. Your prayers are not falling to the ground unheard. They are rising before God, shaping you, strengthening you, and positioning you for what comes next. And what comes next is closer than you think. Because while you've been waiting, heaven has been moving. Quietly, intentionally, faithfully. Revelation 4. God is preparing the answer to sustain you, not just impress you. Some blessings look beautiful on the surface, but collapse without a strong foundation. James 1:4 says, Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. God is not interested in giving you something temporary that excites you for a moment and wounds you long term. He is building capacity in you, so the answer doesn't crush your faith after it arrives. Abraham waited decades for the promised son. Years of silence, years of questions. But when Isaac finally came, Abraham was no longer impulsive, fearful, or unstable. He had become a man rooted in trust. The waiting matured him. The promise lasted. What God gives after preparation, He sustains with peace. Revelation 5. God is timing your answer to collide with purpose, not pressure. Isaiah 60:22 says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Not when pressure screams the loudest, not when fear demands relief, but when divine timing aligns everything, people, places, resources, and your inner strength into one sacred moment. Moses thought he was ready at 40. God waited until 80, and when deliverance finally came, it wasn't rushed. It was undeniable. Some prayers feel unanswered because God is waiting for the exact moment when your breakthrough becomes a testimony, not just an escape. So listen to me now. Really listen. The waiting you're in is not a punishment. The silence you feel is not abandonment. And the delay you're experiencing is not denial. It is direction. Right now, God is doing things you cannot yet see. He is moving pieces behind the curtain, removing distractions, closing doors you would have begged Him to keep open, strengthening your discernment, softening your heart, sharpening your faith. What feels like stillness is actually alignment. One day you'll look back and realize God didn't answer when you begged Him to, because He answered when it would finally heal you, not just help you survive. And when that moment comes, the prayer you once cried through tears will turn into praise spoken with confidence. So don't stop praying. Don't stop trusting. Don't interpret silence as rejection. God hears you. God sees you. God is near. And right now, even in the quiet, He is closer than you think. Here is your declaration. Say it slowly. Say it with faith. God is working, even when I cannot see it. God is faithful, even when I am waiting. And what He has promised, He will complete. May peace guard your heart tonight. May hope rise where discouragement tried to settle. May you feel God's presence in the waiting and His strength in the silence. And if this message spoke to you, stay connected. You're not walking this journey alone. There is more ahead, more truth, more strength, more faith being forged. Welcome deeper into the forge within. Subscribe and be ready for what God is shaping next.